that could have gone better. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. We are doing the follow-up to the TCGPlayer Black Friday video I posted last week. It turns out I was super wrong about how well all of this was going to go, which happens. It's alright. But I definitely feel like TCGPlayer made some mistakes from the viewpoint of both the buyers and the sellers. It seemed like people were pretty unhappy with the way that whole thing went. But we'll review. I left my whiteboard up here so we can talk about my things. Almost none of it ended up being relevant, but we do have some stuff to talk about here, I guess. So I'll start out with saying that I did not realize, and I think that's partially my fault because it definitely said it on the website, that you needed to be subscribed in order to get your bonus bucks back for Friday and Monday's deals, which were the good ones. Saturday and maybe Sunday, I don't remember if it was both days, you would get your 8% bonus bucks regardless of whether or not you were subscribed to their service. But it was, 8%, so it was half of what you would get on Friday, and it was only on sealed product and accessories, so like binders and whatnot, binders, sleeves, whatever, and then like booster boxes or packs or any sealed product, which is not terrible, but 8%'s fairly low for like a Black Friday type of deal, so that wasn't the greatest. But the thing that really got people mad was the 15% back bonus bucks, which is a really good number, but you had to be subscribed to their service for $6.99 a month in order to get access to that. So with that in mind, I hit not anywhere near this goal. I think we ended up somewhere right around 600 bucks in sales, which is, like, that's low for just a regular, like, that's like a regular week. That's not that, it's not very good. It's kind of whatever, and that number was propped up pretty heavily by just some bigger stuff that I sold, as I had mentioned down here. So it would have been worse. It would have been probably half that had I not tried to sell some of these bigger items, which is, like I said, about a regular week. Like 300 bucks in sales I can do in a week without really doing much to the inventory to try to escalate sales in any way. So that sucks a little bit. We missed that by 900 bucks. Not so good. And then for sales, I think I said I would expect to be able to get about 200 or so plus, and maybe even as far up as 400 depending on how good the percent back was, because at the time we didn't know it was going to be 15%. I think I ended up with about 100 sales even, like maybe 99 or 101 or something like that. It was like right around 100 sales, which once again, for a regular week, I would expect that to be approximately where I could land anyway, unless I just haven't really been keeping up on getting new inventory, listed and sorted and whatever. So also not super good there. But I think the thing that's important to talk about here with regards to why all this stuff went bad, you could say it's partially my fault, and I'd be willing to accept that, level of blame for maybe you didn't price very well, maybe you could have listed better things, maybe whatever, you could have listed more things. All that can be true. That's fine. I was basing all of my estimates and my numbers off of previous Black Fridays or off of just general sales as the year goes by, and, the market ebbs and flows and people gain and lose interest. So like right around after Christmas time, there's a little bit of a lull typically in like tournaments, like big tournaments that are taking place, so I expect sales to dip a little bit there. Right now though, I would expect them to be high, and I think that these numbers that I'm going to show you guys here in a second are kind of a big portion of that. So on Friday we got that 15% bonus bucks if you are subscribed. So subscribing costs $6.99 a month, and I believe that you got your percentage, your like baseline percentage off of your subscription on top of your 15% bonus bucks. We'll throw that number up here too. Well organized right there. And so your bonus or your subscription gets you 1% bonus bucks on all things you buy from day one. I believe it has to be above $35 or $50 per order to get your bonus bucks or something like that. After 3 months, you would get 2%, and then after a year, you would get 3% bonus bucks on all your orders that meet that minimum price. I believe it's 50 bucks, but I could be wrong there. And I believe they stack. So if you just signed up for your subscription on Black Friday to get that percent back, I think you end up with 16% bonus bucks. But we'll look at just this 15% number. So if you signed up just for Black Friday, your bonus bucks, your 15%, in order to cover just the cost of the $6.99 that you had to spend to get your 15%, you had to spend $46.60. So if you spent this number, you got just the price that you paid extra for that 15% back. All right, I mean, you could probably find $46.60 worth of things that you were looking for. If you're building a deck or whatever, you're probably going to buy more than that. But that first $46.60 is essentially nothing. Like, you didn't get anything out of that because you paid that extra money already anyway. So, you know, typically I think that hurt a lot of sales, because if you're looking at like the Yu-Gi-Oh meta in particular, and I don't know as much about Pokemon or Magic or the other card games meta, but in Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of the more expensive, like better cards you need for a deck are going to be somewhere in that $40 to $80 range, which is right in there. And so if you were eyeing like, you know, you wanted to pick up a Pot of Prosperity or a couple Pot of Prosperities out of the Megatins for, you know, 40 bucks or whatever they are, or maybe you needed one, right? The one wouldn't even be worth signing up for the thing to get the bonus bucks back, because it just wouldn't be. You could buy it any other day for the same amount of money. So you would have to have been already planning to buy, you know, $100, $200, $300 worth of stuff going into this to then make the decision to do this to still get something out of it on your end. And so I think that hurt a lot of people's buying decisions. Now, on Monday, they didn't do 15%. Monday ended up being 10% with your subscription, so still would need to pay this $6.99 to get it. Again, not considering that I think they stack so you could go 16, 17, or even 18% on Friday, or 11, 12, or 13% on Monday, depending on how long you've had that subscription. Assuming you signed up on day one and we're not tacking that extra 1% on there, this 10% number you needed to spend $69.90, nice, just to get your $7 back. So now you're really talking about, you know, if we're using the Pot of Prosperity again, if I buy 2 of them, it still would cost me the same amount as just buying them on any other Monday of the year for the current market price, and maybe that would get you, you know, a couple cents in bonus bucks on top of your money back for this. So I think that just really crushed people that were kind of waiting, because the week leading up to Black Friday was pretty light. You know, it isn't a regular number of sales, or maybe even a little bit low, because I think people were waiting for that sale, as you should, just to get that money back. And then when they found out that they had to pay an extra $7 just to get that, they just figured, I won't buy it now, I'll buy it another time or whatever. And so people just stopped buying stuff. So that's that Monday. To get your money back for just the subscription and that 10% bonus bucks, you need to spend about 70 bucks. Now, best case scenario, so if we're assuming these do stack, so your best case scenario is that you have been subscribed for a year. You would need a year to max this out at 18%. You would need to spend $38.33 just to cover the cost of that $6.99 there. I would assume that if you've been subscribed for a year already, you are regularly spending a ton of money on TCGPlayer anyway, so you probably are spending quite a bit more than that, and so this probably would have been worth it for you. I think the issue that I had initially with the subscription service, which I was going to sign up for and then ended up not, was because it had that minimum sale amount, so I couldn't just pick up, like, you know, little stuff here and there as I needed it. You would need to, like, plan out for the whole month what you were going to buy, get it above that $50, try to spend it all at once so you could get your 1% or 2% or 3% back. And then it just ended up not really being worth it in my mind, because I had done some math figuring out how much you would need to spend at that 1%, because typically you're only getting 1% back up until 3 months on this $7 a month, and it's quite a bit of money to try to net enough bonus bucks to cover this at 1% bonus bucks or 2 or 3% bonus bucks. So I would assume if you've had it for a year, you are easily hitting this number anyway. For the rest of us, it just wasn't good. It kind of sucks. I've been a fan of TCGPlayer. I've been selling there for a few years now, and it's a little bit disappointing to see this happen. Not that it's a knock on the company or anything. They tested something out. They wanted to see if it would work, if it spiked their subscription sales. I would bet that it did, but I'd be curious to know, like, next month, if those subscriptions all carry over, like how many of them drop back off because there's now no benefit to them for it. So I don't think we'll get to know those numbers, but I think that'd be an interesting thing to learn about, because it really feels like people were unhappy with the way that this went, which I don't blame them. You know, it hurt the sellers for the reasons that I'm explaining why I couldn't get more sales. It hurt buyers because maybe they've been saving money expecting to get something really awesome on this Black Friday deal, and then the day comes and it just doesn't work out for them. So all in all, I would call this kind of an L for a Black Friday. This didn't go great, but I think the coming months will still be okay. It'll recover. People will start buying stuff again, especially coming up on Christmas. People start buying stuff again. And then that week after Christmas, I think they do sometimes do bonus bucks like right after Christmas, because people will be spending money that they got as whatever, you know, presents or whatever. And people will be selling stuff off that they opened out of packs that they got or whatever happens there. So I could see another bonus bucks happening in the next month or two, but I just don't know that it's not going to require you to be subscribed again. So if that's the case, I probably would still say it's not worth subscribing unless you're already spending tons of money every month on TCGs anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to cover all this stuff again, kind of share my dismay with the community, see what you guys think about it. So leave comments down below. Did you pick stuff up? Were you able to take advantage of the bonus bucks even with that subscription? Maybe you've been subscribed for a while. Actually, I would be more interested to know who has had this thing for a year, and could you get that 18%? You know, over the course of a year, what is it that you're investing in that's getting you to feel like there's value on your end for spending that $7 for that 3% bonus bucks back? So let me know any of that stuff down below. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys for listening to yet another whiteboard conversation, and thanks again for visiting me here at Libertalia Game Supply. I will see you guys at the end of this week for another deck profile. We're going to do Boojins. I play tested. We got those 3 tankies. It's going to be sweet. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you. Happy investing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.